This is part 2. Something happened. The video stopped randomly. As I was saying, there are videos that exist that show or at least explain how they were able to take the whole thing apart without damaging or taking out the clips. Or maybe they took them out but they didn't damage them. I'm not really sure. But the only method I found is that you have to damage them or destroy them. The Furby will still work, even without the clips. The ears still work. Sometimes you have to help the ears by, like, moving them up if the Furby gets stuck moving. The ears still move. It doesn't really affect their movement. Like I said, they're just not as springy as they are initially. And sometimes they don't move as much, but they still move. It really depends. When I first took this guy apart, the ears didn't move. But I think that had to do with us trying to put the clips back in. If you completely cut them and trim them like this, I think they still move a tiny bit. Heck, I think if you completely take the clips out, the ears might even move even more. Like, if you completely get rid of this piece, the ears might move even more. They might be extra floppy, but still, they might move more, because the gears are what move them. The clips just kind of keep them a little tighter, basically. So what I was saying was that there's going to be a bunch of tape when you first take it apart, and tinfoil. You're going to have to, like, kind of peel it and, like, kind of peel around and maybe, like, use scissors. But you're going to want to stop when you see this sensor. It can be in a different spot. When you see this is the sensor that the Furby knows when you're holding it. You basically want to, like, you don't want to cut the wire. There's a wire behind this. Usually you'll see the wire as you're peeling the tinfoil and tape it back. That's when you want to stop peeling. Just cut the excess tinfoil except for where the wire is. Don't cut the wire. This is the pet sensor. It's a little thing on the back. It usually doesn't have electrical tape, and it's usually higher up. And it usually is vertical like this. Yeah, it has a little sensor in the middle. It has a wire attached to it, so you've got to be really careful. If the wire comes off, use electrical tape, set the sensor to the side, and then just work on the Furby, and then, like, maybe electrical tape the sensor back on. But one thing that's really annoying is that even when you take the shell off, you have to be really careful of the wires, including the one connected to the pet sensor, which you probably you'll see as soon as you take it apart. You'll know what I'm talking about. Especially when you start peeling this up. You don't want to peel this off all the way. You basically want to peel it up just enough so that it comes off, but not too much. Basically, like, make it come up, like, just like this, just like a little bit like this, so that you still have access to all the screws, because you definitely don't want the wire to come off. And I guess with his, it wasn't electrical tape, or yeah, it was electrical tape together. But yeah, the pet sensor isn't that important, because you can also tickle them to change personalities. But I still think they're important, considering they're part of the item, and they're also, they're part of the internal workings. So yeah, it's definitely important. Once you do have it all apart, there is, like, some people will be able to take apart the skin. You can do that. You can, like, completely take the skin off. I have no clue how you do that. I'm sure that some people, if they could tell me some of these things, like how you don't damage the clips, how you take the skin completely off, they would not only be helping me, but they would also help you guys who are attempting this. Anyways, yeah, there are screws in the back of the Furby. One thing is that what the pet sensor will usually be covering up some of the screws that are on the top, and you need to pull the skin up high enough to where you can see the last screws. Usually there's like 1 or 2. On this guy, there's 2 at the top. As you can see, there's 2 at the top there. Yeah, so basically you just want to start removing the screws, and then just get this off. Don't take it all the way off. I don't think you can even take it all the way off, even if the skin's off. Though, at the same time, I think you can, because I think we have taken this all the way off. It's just really difficult, because you have to be careful of the wire and also not damage any of the plastic, because even the speaker is clipped on to the shell. But, once you fix them once, like I said, I don't know if it got me saying that, but once you fix them once, it's actually a lot easier to fix them the next time this happens. And it's unfortunate that the motors for these guys, you know, you have to keep replacing them like this unless you do the method that Silvolf did. I'll link that in the description. I'll link some of the other videos I talked about in the description. And yeah, so I'll be back when I have the shell off, just the back part. And if the screw doesn't come out, just kind of gently tap on the Furby. Don't, you know, obviously don't tap so hard that, you know, damage something, but, you know, just tap lightly. Okay, so I lied. You definitely do want to get the back completely off. Just be careful of the pet sensor and make sure that it's still in there and that the wire's still on it. This guy's wire is basically electrical taped together, so I'm being extra careful. You want to unscrew this PCB right here. I think that controls the motor, or it has something to do with the motor. And this one is also responsible for controlling the motor. You want to screw that down really tight. Actually, don't unscrew that at all. You know, the truth is, don't unscrew that at all, because you can screw up your Furby's movement by unscrewing this little thing. It can be blue, it can be pink, it can be whatever color your Furby is. Don't unscrew this. The little red, I believe it's called a sync screw, if I'm not mistaken. Don't undo the red screw. Just, it's a bad idea. Don't do it. So unclip that PCB, and then you're just going to want to take the screws off the motor. I believe you only want to do the two, but then you also want to do these ones up here. You also want to do these screws up here as well. So basically, don't only do two. Once you have the motor cap off, it should look something like this. Now you want to unclip the motor. You just follow the wires to the little clip, and I'll be right back. I recommend first you try oiling the motor, try testing the motor, see if it actually works before you actually attempt at replacing it, and try oiling it. If it stops working after you get it working, then yeah, replace the motor. Definitely replace the motor. And that's all for part 2. I'll be back in part 3.